Hey guys, Philly here, welcome back to another video. Today, update 12.5 has just released in Blox, so I'm going to be covering all the new content that is released today. But before I get into that, I just want to quickly mention that I am closing in on 10,000 subscribers, and I want to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed already, and you like my content, and it is helpful to you guys, please consider subscribing. Anyway, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to mention is the playlist, the new playlist. So as you can see, the playlist on the right hand side of my screen does look a little bit different. You might be like, what the hell is going on there, Philly? Well, it's very, very simple. So there are two tabs. You can click on the Players tab, which I'm on currently, and you can click on the Friends tab. So what the Friends tab will allow you to do is just join your friends like normal in any sort of game. If they're playing Blox, you can just join them in whatever world they may be. It'll tell you what world they're in. The only reason this wouldn't work is if they're in a special world or if they're in a private server. So if you try to join them and it says you don't have permission to join, that's because they're in a private server. Anyway, let's go over to the Players tab. So the Players tab is really, really cool. You can click on them and you can examine their Roblox avatar like this, and it will come up with this screen and it will tell you like all the different things they've currently got equipped. You can also go over here and inspect their actual character. As you can see here, it will load. Sometimes this kind of breaks. As you can see, for some reason it doesn't work on my character, but it seems to work on other people's character when I go to inspect this guy. Like, I can see his character, I can see his playtime. It's not, I don't think it's meant to show you any of the stats because that's what the red scouter is for. So it just shows you what their character kind of looks like, which is cool. I like it. Another thing that's really, really good about this this new player menu is you can trade people. So if I was, instead of going through my menu and clicking on trade and finding the person I want to trade, I can just click on here and just click trade. It's super simple. It's really, really helpful. I hope they add a squad invite function to it. I think there's no reason not to. I think it just helps a ton. That would be absolutely awesome. They could probably get rid of the trade end squad button. Honestly, you wouldn't really need it if they were up here. But anyway, let's get into these next couple of things. Alrighty guys, the next thing we're going to be talking about are the beams. Now, this one was really, really controversial. I heard a lot of people talking on the Discord that complaining about them, but beams have been nerfed. Now, before you get really angry, do not worry, it is only the speed of the beams that got nerfed. None of the damage has been touched, and farming bosses will still be the same as it was before. So you might be like, what the hell does the speed of the beams mean? Well, it's actually really simple. The speed of the beams was an issue because they're too quick and you don't have any time to dodge them, right? So they've lowered the speed of the beams, so when I use a tri-beam or something, you'll notice that it's a little bit slower and doesn't go out as quick and hit the end of the beam full length as quick. So if I was to use my final energy wave here, you'll notice that it takes a little bit longer to hit the max range. This is just to give players a little bit that little bit of extra time to dodge the beam so they're not as overpowered in PvP. So that one is a huge one for any PvP player. I know you guys have been complaining that you get one-shotted all the time. The damage will be the same, but if you're really, really skillful, you'll be able to dodge the beams really easily and counterattack. It is super cool. I got to test this out on a server before this was added, and I was able to dodge so many beams, so do not worry. I'm not a very good player at PvP, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that, but they are super easy to dodge now, so PvP, much different. Anyway, let's get into the next thing. Alrighty guys, the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is the Lord Destroyer buffs that have just come out. So everyone is like, what the hell's going on? Well, they have actually released 2 Lord Destroyer buffs. They have buffed the power level of Lord Destroyer, made it a little bit stronger. So we go over to here, you can see the power level is now 100. It used to be 90, which means the health and the energy are slightly increased. I think you get an extra 2,000 health, and I think it's like 200 energy. But nonetheless, it's a little bit better than it was before. It's a little bit of an extra buff to make sure that you're actually using it. But the main part of the Lord Destroyer buff that has just dropped is the extra damage. Now, Lord Destroyer, the drain skill went from 100% damage to 150% damage. So what does this mean? Well, you're doing a lot more damage. In layman terms, you are doing a lot more damage. It is quite strong. I've used it before. I've already been out and tested it myself. It is very good. It is very good. I definitely recommend using Lord Destroyer a little bit more than you used to. I probably won't use it at all, to be honest, still, just because of the skill immunity. I don't like having to only use it against certain bosses and not being able to use it against every boss. But at the end of the day, if you do want to use Lord Destroyer and you do like it, then you can, because it is still a lot better than it was before, which is always a bonus. Alrighty guys, the next buff is to go over the power pole. The power pole has been buffed into oblivion. It is so overpowered now. The power pole has just become the best weapon in Dragon Blox. The scythe doesn't even stand a chance anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Let me explain why. The first buff that came to the power pole is the clone. The clone is now meant to be able to use Destructo Disc and Solar Flare, both really good abilities, mainly Destructo Disc because that ability is absolutely insane, but still really good. But the clone is also now skill immune, which means it can't be stunned, which is absolutely amazing because I'm sure a lot of people who use the power pole have realized this. The clone keeps getting stunned and it's super annoying, but that won't happen anymore because it is now skill immune to those abilities. But the main buff that has come into this is the power pole clone now replicates users' item stats and mode stats. What does that mean? Well, the clone now can crit. Yes, that is right. You heard me correctly. The clone can now crit. It is so overpowered. That is an insane amount of damage. So this clone, when you start it, whenever you find a target, if I come over to here, let me see if I go over here. I come over to this, like, this little bozo over here, and I summon my clone. You'll see he'll start off his attack, and he'll crit when he does it. So he's going to hit him. Okay, it didn't have enough health to really crit, but he can crit, so it's really overpowered. If you guys are using the scythe currently, I honestly recommend switching to the power pole. It is actually now better, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, that is it for update 12.5. As I said before, it is only a 0.5 update, so it is nothing super crazy, but it's some awesome new changes, and I'm sure new changes will come out throughout when they decide to just release new changes like they always do. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you guys in the next video.